Hello and welcome to this latest Business Spotlight interview. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Nicolas Orellana from O Innovations, which is a business based around wind turbine technology. Hi Nicolas, how are you?
Hi Rob, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. No problem at all. Looking forward to hearing about yourself, your journey, and obviously the business that's in a startup phase, but a very interesting piece of technology, and people would be very interested, I think, to hear about how that's been created and what the future holds for you as well. So with that in mind, could you give us some background on yourself and the business or the technology we're talking about?
Right, so this is a wind turbine. It's the first one that's capable of taking wind not only horizontally but also vertically, which is very critical to harness wind in cities, because that's where you can find the strongest wind, but it also gets very chaotic. It goes up and down and sideways or forwards and backwards, in eddies and everything else. That's because of the obstacles within cities. But that means, sorry about that, it gets not only accelerated but also chaotic. So we need a wind turbine that can take chaotic wind, basically, and winds in the market cannot. So this one is the first one. It started in 2018.
Right.
When I turned a previous invention that I had into this wind turbine to present it to the James Dyson Award, and it turned out to do well with the award nationally and then internationally as well. So we got a lot of attention, and people came in approaching. We built a team with some of them, and then it's all been developing so far.
Perfect. And so where did the idea or the inspiration come? You highlighted what you saw as an opportunity, but where did that come from? What's your background in that area?
So my background is product design. I finished my undergrad in 2006, and for my capstone project, I was looking at developing something based on wind, and I saw that NASA was trying to explore Mars with wind-driven devices. They had basically evolved that would go around the surface, roll over the surface, driven by wind, which was very clever, I thought. But if you wanted to explore a large surface, you needed a number of them. But then if you put a number of them in the same place, the wind would take them all in the same place, drawing the same line. So not a wide area. It didn't make too much sense. So if each one of these little balls had their own preset direction, then wind comes and each one would take to its own direction. So I developed this little thing. It was a device that would go forward by using crosswinds. So I prototyped it, tested it in the Atacama Desert, and it won 17 kilometers in 6 trials, which was a huge success for this new technology.
Right.
And then I just stored it. I thought it could be useful at some point to generate electricity, but I didn't do much with it. 12 years went by, and until 2018, I came across this opportunity to the James Dyson Award, and I redeveloped it, turned it into this omnidirectional wind turbine. And that's what I was saying before. It went well in the contest, and that's how it all started.
Brilliant. So like you say, kind of it was sitting there, dormant for about 12 years, and then you just saw the opportunity. Is that what was it, because of the award, like that the James Dyson Award, and the opportunity to present it at that and see how people would react to obviously that kind of invention and technology that you thought about? Yeah.
So the opportunity was not only first to do something. I had this pending thing in my mind that I could at some point use it. It was a perfect opportunity because it not only comes with an award, which is very, very useful, but also PR. So put it out there in front of the public and in front of a lot of people all over the world, and see what feedback I got from it.
Sure.
And the feedback was really, really great from all kind of people. People who actually wanted to install one already, people who wanted to do the media or study it or do research, and people who wanted to invest. So it all came together as something that could make sense if we really put some structure to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what we did.
Perfect. And I think to give people some context, obviously, I think when people think of wind turbines, they think of, you know, the huge structures that you find, you know, maybe like the wind farms that you find out on the coast, obviously huge windmill type. This is a very different product, right, in terms of and size and scale to take the opportunity of the cities. Would that be fair?
It's a very different thing.
Yeah.
So wind turbines compete basically. The formula is based on 4 elements. So air density, not much to do with that. But then the efficiency of the turbine itself, size, wind speed. The most important one of those is wind speed. That's cubed. So in the formula, that's the one that makes the most impact.
Sure.
Some wind turbines go for efficiency and size. That's what they do with the biggest ones.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're going for wind speed. Where do we find the biggest wind speed, the highest wind speed around and spaces that are available to us? And that's within cities. Wind that comes at, say, an average in the UK, 4.4 meters per second, go into cities, and in some places they go down to 0, but in other places that air gets deflected to somewhere else, and in those places it can get channeled and funneled. In those spots, very specific spots, it gets really, really high. So we're not talking about 4 meters per second anymore. We can talk about 12 meters per second and above. That's huge. It's not only 3 times the energy, it's much more than that because it's cubed, right? Yeah. So in the curve, it goes right up. So in order to harness that wind, we think we need a wind turbine that's strong enough in terms of structure and capable of taking wind from all directions. Okay. That's why we're working on this one. That's it's the sound structure, the fact that it's bladeless, and the fact that it can take wind from above, downdraft, updraft, as well as horizontal wind. That makes it ideal for these scenarios. Okay, fantastic. And so obviously 2018 was when you went and presented and obviously won the award and created that. So where are you now on that journey in terms of bringing it to market? What's been the journey so far since then? So it's been, well, basically a lot of development, raising funds, using them for development, and then all over again and over again. Sure. It's a cycle that repeats and repeats all over. But right now we are in a position that it's actually quite exciting times for us because we finalized that loop of research because we reached version 3, which is already within the market range in terms of efficiency. So it not only can harness wind horizontally and vertically, but also compete with all of the wind turbines in terms of efficiency. So it's a great fit for the market. So we're taking that to the next in a couple of years' time. Hopefully 2025, we're going to be able to start selling them in mass. But next year, 2024, is going to be the year to install the first one in public. We have one already in an R&D setting. That's been we've been testing that for a year now, and we keep changing stuff to it. But next year we're going to be installing the first pilot at a commercial level. So in the middle of a big city, and we're going to be able to engage with it and see what the public response is to it. Okay, and is that somewhere do you know where that's going to be? Can you say where that's going to be, or is that not something you want to do? We don't have a final location yet. That's something we are about to find out in a couple of weeks' time. So we're going to start that journey of talking to the locations, administrators or owners, and that's going to take some time. So we don't have an answer to that yet, but we do have a partner who we're going to be working with. Which is a very exciting company. I'm not sure I can say it in public yet. Okay. It is an exciting partnership, and we're going to be able to disclose that very, very soon. Oh, perfect. And that will obviously help with the with getting it to market
once the trials are in place and getting that into market from that perspective, which is fantastic. So what do you feel the public's reaction will be to obviously what you're doing, and are you worried about anything in terms of the aesthetics of it or how it works? What are do you have concerns or?
Well, not many concerns really. The feedback so far has been great.
Yeah.
People coming from since we won the award, it's been published and republished many times. We keep track of maybe 200 publications,
Right.
and the comments around them are really, really good. People really want this to be in the cities.
Right.
People have said it looks well. Architectural companies come in asking for the availability of it. So yeah, we expect the feedback to be very good.
Okay.
Engagement is another thing. We want people to be able to use the energy somehow. That's something we are studying at the moment with Lancaster University to see what's the best way for people to use the energy. Other than injecting it to the grid, we want people to use it there and then, just because it's more efficient. So basically, you want to put it into the grid, you lose 20 or 30% of the energy because of the electronics that need to be attached to it. So if we want to make full use of it, we better charge phones or engage with Wi-Fi or interactive screens or something that people may like, or I don't know, reduce their expense at home, or provide a service to people finding of whatever. That's being studied. So we're going to have an answer about what to do with the energy at that point.
Okay.
And then we're going to go for it.
Cool. Because I was going to ask about, how does the usage, is it similar to like solar and things like that, where it goes on commercial properties and then they obviously use what they store, they can store it, in batteries and stuff like that and use it on site and then feed back into the grid if they wanted to. Is that kind of the business model? So is that what you're talking about?
Well, technically, you can do pretty much the same. So it's energy available that you can plug into whatever you want.
Yeah.
Either the grid or something that you can use on site.
Sure.
So yeah, you can do both things. But in terms of the business model, we're thinking more of, well, since we need to find these places where the wind gets really, really accelerated.
Sure.
We need to first analyze full cities and identify these places, and then we can approach the city, those site owners or administrators, to explore whether they would like to get this installed. So yeah, that's very likely to be the city council.
Yeah.
In many cases, we have a special business model for city councils and a different business model for landowners who may want to install one.
Okay.
Or many of them in their facilities.
Okay. And is that to start with UK based, being yourself based here, or is that international? How do you see that?
So we are expanding our patent to 22 countries. So yeah, it is aimed to be global.
Yeah.
The market is going to be the UK.
Okay. Cool. And could it be? Do you know if that geographically certain areas are going to be, I mean, from a layman's point of view, I guess if they're closer to the coast, does that mean there's more wind, or is it just it doesn't make any difference the wind, because you're talking about as you just explained earlier about the vagaries of the wind speed and direction? It doesn't really matter where they're geographically placed?
Yeah, some places have more wind. Not naturally. So when it gets accelerated, it gets even higher. So in any windy place would be probably the best location for it. I wouldn't say, well, coastal cities are normally windier than others, but some inland cities on hills and mountains, for instance, do get a lot of wind as well. Depends on their geographical location within not only within its own radius, but also what happens I don't know, 100 kilometers away, because wind effects are actually global. So yeah, it makes sense to places that people feel windy, but it also can make sense for places where people don't really notice any wind, because around the corner it can be really windy. So
sure.
it's very difficult to feel, to have a personal feeling of what the wind is.
Okay, perfect. And then thinking about, being a business owner, obviously you've created a product and invented and created this product, and you're bringing that to market. What did you have much experience of creating and building the business beforehand, or have you been having to you're having to kind of learn that as well at the same time as bringing it to market?
Well, within the team, we have people with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Me personally, I do have experience of some attempts to build companies before. My main experience was 5 years startup with my brother and my dad. We worked together with us. Yeah, we had a good race in growth, and then we crashed.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry to hear that. What was that? What was that business around, or was it in?
Well, we were doing restoration of heritage buildings.
Okay.
In Chile, we have earthquakes, so it was new ways to build these heritage buildings. We started with decorations like what do you call those? Like sculptures on top of buildings, in a anti-seismic way or seismic resistance way. Way. So yeah, we did that. We were exploring the market for 5 years or so, growing quite a lot. We had a team of a bit above 100 people, which I was in charge of. Well, at the end, we found a customer for the largest project that we had that just didn't pay. So we went down.
Okay, so that was So I was going to say, I was going to ask you what your biggest learning was, but obviously was that a bit of a one-off situation in that sense, or did you learn things that you can bring into what you're doing now?
Quite a lot. Like team management and administration, negotiations, and the need for documents, that kind of things that you don't really think of on the first try.
No.
And then you realize how important they can be.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of learning there.
Okay, so you said you've brought in some. I was looking on your website and I noticed the team you've got in place is obviously some people that have invested, and obviously with business background, investment banking, that kind of stuff. How crucial has that been in terms of getting to where you are now, and obviously will be in the future?
It's been great. We have a very engaged board. We meet every 2 weeks, so it's very reactive. And we keep discussing things in terms of strategy and next steps on the technical side, on the business side, fundraising, and having built the team one by one means every single one coming in helps with raising the next bid and in negotiations with the next investor. So all of them have supported all of these steps. And it's great to work with them because they have a lot of experience and good ideas, and we keep developing things together. So yeah,
perfect. And how have you come across where has that network come from? As you've built up over the last few years, have you?
Well, that is quite a lot of what startups do. I think it's spending quite a lot of time presenting, introducing yourself to people. We had some help from university programs, and then we were introduced to investment networks. Then we met people and introduced us to more people. So at the end, we have from the 7 people in the team, 4 of us being involved full time. There's 1 person, 2 people actually dealing just with fundraising, commercialization, and networking. That's their full time.
Okay. Perfect. So Yeah, 100%. Yeah, brilliant. So so you kind of mapped out the next couple of years. What's the long term, vision, dream for the business?
So what we are aiming at is generating electricity and engaging the public in generating electricity within cities. We say we want to revolutionize urban access to renewables.
Okay.
That's our motto. It's not only through wind turbines, it's going to be different technologies that we need to bring into the market and develop. All because we want people to be aware of what generating energy means, how tough it is, how much energy and resources need to go into it. So we create some conscience and help the planet. So, yeah.
Perfect. I mean, obviously, when you started out, a few years back, I mean, renewables has always been a big factor in the long term strategy. But obviously, over the last couple of years, I guess it's become even more to the forefront of everyone's thoughts and the climate debate, and also clearly energy prices that have gone up over the last couple of years, especially, and the fact the fact that renewables could play a huge part in improving security, and also clearly bringing price and cost down in the long term for people. So there's clearly an appetite, you would say, to look at all options in that front, right? So it's probably a good time as any to be in that sphere. Would that be fair?
Exactly, and we need to create conscience. I mean, more than half of the population globally lives in cities now, and that's meant to be 70 or 80% quite soon.
Sure.
And all we can do now is outside of cities. So not many people really engage with them. It's like we keep using it and we keep thinking about it as if it was something away from me, which is not real. If we're going to be the main energy consumers,
Sure.
we need to create some sort of conscience as to what is it that's required for it to be there. What am I creating by using my laptop or turning on my light? There's a lot of it. There's a lot going on in the background to get that happening in your house.
Sure.
So if you live outside in the countryside, you can install solar panels and you get a bit of an understanding. Then in cities, what can you do? There's very little you can do, right? So creating conscience is a very important thing for us, and getting people to engage with that.
Sure.
Is the next step.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. No, absolutely. Very good. Very good. So, what is the obviously, I know you're a startup, so obviously creating and building the business at the moment. But what would be maybe your best advice for anyone who is, I guess, from experience, looking to bring a product to market? What learns and what advice would you say is the most prevalent for you at the moment? Someone in that situation.
To bring a product to market, that's a huge challenge. We've been struggling with it for a couple of years now. Well, there's a number of steps. The main thing is to prove the technology or whatever it is you're developing as quickly as possible.
Sure.
There's a lot around it, business model and legalities and a number of other things. But the first thing is try it out, prototype it. There's a lot of support at universities to get things done. So
Okay. So but prove the model first, and then work, and then take it to someone who can you can look at the commercial aspect of it as well, because sometimes great ideas aren't as commercial as maybe people think they might be, I suppose. So obviously that's a big part of it as well. And I guess what has inspired you, or what is inspiring you at the moment to take this product and build your business?
Well, I think at a personal level, there is some magic to having something in your mind and then seeing it in reality.
100%.
Creating something. That's something that motivates me quite a lot. I think I look forward to seeing the first fully commercial pilot unit next year installed in a big city. and getting to see people's reaction and engagement. That's going to be a huge thing for me. That's quite a lot. But in the long run, having this company developing more technologies and getting them out there and changing the way people relates to energy, that's something that I think will make a huge impact in people's lives. So I look to that.
I can imagine. Obviously, as you say, it's although commercially you've been looking at this for about what 5 years now, around 5 years. But obviously, you said the original idea was 12 years before that. So nearly 20 years from the time you kind of conceptualize what you're talking about to getting to that point where you actually see it in reality must be very, very motivating, and it must be a very proud moment when that happens next year. So congratulations for getting to where you are now, and where you can potentially take it is huge. Like I say, feels on face value, it feels like an amazing idea to utilize and harness nature in a positive impact for us as a population. So it's been incredible stuff. So finally, just thinking about if people are interested in finding more about the technology and the business, O Innovations, where's the best place to find that information?
Well, oinnovations.co.uk. That's the first point of contact. We are renewing the website, so soon enough, in a couple of weeks, hopefully, you can see renewed content.
Brilliant.
That's the best point of touch. We also have a LinkedIn, which is not very active at the moment, but we're aiming at next year having it in full activity. So,
okay. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Nicolas. It's been a very fascinating conversation. I've been really interested in the technology. When I first saw it on the website, it's just something very different, very unique, and clearly, I wish you all the best over the next couple of years, especially, but long term, and hope to create the dream and the vision that you've got as a business and yourself as well.
Thank you, Rob.
All right.
Thank
perfect.
you for having me.
No problem at all. Cheers then. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye bye.